Hey, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to our Tuesday night live here on YouTube. If this is your first time joining us, you picked one heck of a broadcast to be your first time. We've got a special treat for you tonight. And if you are here with us every single week, we've also got a special treat for you. If you have been watching or following or heard about any of our biggest transformation episodes, we've completed season 1. We are into season 2. And the biggest transformation is where we are journeying with the cast. The season 1 cast was 7 people. The season 2 cast is 8 people. And we're watching them basically declare war on this thing called weight. We're watching them overcome what has been overcoming them. We're watching them give it their all. And if you have not seen any of the episodes, I will put the playlist down below in the description box because they are inspiring. Like, it's one of those things that you watch it, and whether you have a weight issue or not, like, it makes you want to get up and just be a better person. It makes you want to chase after your dreams. And I think all of us need a little bit of inspiration in our lives. All of us. I don't know of anybody that could not use an injection of inspiration. And that's what this is. But tonight, we have the honor and privilege to have season 1 cast member Shane Short with us here on the channel. Some of you might know him as the dad from Minnesota. Others might know him as the smack talk king from season 1. Or you just might know him as a force to be reckoned with. And so without further ado, help me welcome to the channel, Shane. You're here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, welcome to YouTube. So, Shane and I go way back. We knew each other pre-kids. You knew me before I was even married.
Yep.
But up until 8 years ago, Shane only knew the fluffy me. Shane knew the 288-pound me. And really, up until 8 years, well, I'd say a decade ago when you guys moved, we were kind of fluffy friends, which means we did fluffy things together. We ate, we sat, we watched movies. We did do some diets together. Actually, we did one. We only did one, right?
The HCG diet.
Yeah, that's the only
forget it.
It was memorable. So if you're watching and you're like, what's that? So it's where you like take this needle and you inject yourself and you eat 500 calories. So the most memorable part of the HCG diet for me, I don't know about you, Shane, was the loading. Like pre-diet, there was like, they would tell you inject yourself, eat 500 calories, but before it starts, take 72 hours and eat all, basically, literally, it told you in the protocol, eat all the crap you could fit into your pie hole.
Yeah, it was so bad.
We like showed up to a cabin for vacation, and there was several of us doing it, and we all brought junk, right? And we ate until our stomachs hurt. Like, I've never turned down a funnel cake in my life. That weekend, I turned down a funnel cake because we had eaten so much crap. But anyway, if you fast forward, it was so bad, wasn't it? It was one of those fad diets that gives you some immediate quick results that you can't maintain or sustain and whatever. However, today our friendship looks a lot different. Today, instead of Marco Polos of Oreos and funnel cakes, it's like, hey, dude, my new weights and look at whatever. So Shane was a part of the season 1 cast of The Biggest Transformation. And I will tell you, it wasn't voluntary. Shane was the only person who got an invite out of all season 1 and season 2 cast. When I first got this idea in my head of what it was going to look like and what it was going to be like, I had no idea who was going to be the cast or what it was going to look like, but there was one face in every idea, and it was Shane's. And I thought, yeah, it was like, oh. And so I remember giving him a call, and I was like, hey, dude, I got this thing in my head, and you're the only person getting an invite, and you want to do it? And he was like, silence. He just gave me silence. And it was like, how long do I have to think about it? I said, well, how long do you need? And then I shut up. I'm like, the next person who talks loses. And then
I knew that. And it still worked.
I know she's doing that Jedi crap on me. And he's like, all right, I'm in. And the rest has been history. So you were a part of the competition portion of The Biggest Transformation for the first 12 weeks. And I just want to hear from your perspective because you had insane results. Like, first off, how much have you lost so far?
In that 12 weeks or total?
Total. Well, both.
So in the 12 weeks, I lost a little over 73 pounds. And then total up till now, I think I'm down like 107, something like that.
107 pounds, and that's like 16 weeks or something?
Yeah, whatever we're at. I lost track of the days. I'm just going for it.
So 73 pounds in 12 weeks, and then 107. And he lost his first 100 pounds in 120. No, how many days?
It was 130 days.
130 days.
Yep.
100 pounds in 130 days. That is crazy. So Shane, like, tell me, like, what? I don't know. Just tell me all the things. How was that for you? Like, how was it when you started to finishing? Like, what was that stuff? Let me go here because as somebody who's done juice cleanses in the past and you've tried different things to lose weight and you came into the biggest transformation at what weight? What was your starting weight?
386.6.
386.6. And so you hadn't been working out. You hadn't really been watching. This was right after the holidays. So how was that coming into that season?
So, prior to starting in the biggest transformation, life sucked. I'm not going to lie. So I thought about working out all the time. I thought about losing weight all the time because life sucked. I was miserable. My most recent plane rides and stuff, I had to get the seatbelt extension, and that's no fun. Just normal day-to-day stuff. My back hurt all the time. I've seen a chiropractor like weekly just to manage. It was rough. I was up over 400 at one point, and not by any doing of my own, but just diabetes brought me back down because it's one of the symptoms of diabetes. When you get out of control, you start to lose weight. It's a symptom. Not good weight loss, not sustainable. It's a sign of something very wrong. So, yeah, I started at the 386.6 and starting, I was excited about it. So it wasn't as hard as I expected because I had that excitement. I was like, this is it. And I kind of felt like this was my last chance because I had already given up. By the time you called me, I had already decided I was just going to manage life from then on. Like it just is what it is. I tried and failed so many times. And I was like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth feeling bad all the time. So I was starting to give myself permission to be shameless and not feel bad. And that's an out of control spiral that I was letting myself get into because obvious to my diabetes and everything else, I just gained another diabetes medication. I was on metformin. They put me on glipizide because my diabetes was so out of control. And I kept telling my doctor, I can do this. I'm gonna get out of control, which I'm sure she hears from every diabetic patient out there. And then when I didn't, she wasn't. You could tell that she was used to that conversation, right? Like, all right, I believe you can do it, but until that happens, we need to do something about it. We can't let you just keep going because it's just hurting you. So anyway, yeah, so that's where I was at. Getting started, I started working out and I started eating on Plan C, which I think it was 1,800 to 2,100 calories out of Plan C is. And I did that for a little while, and I felt like it was too much food. Which I did not expect that at all. That was crazy. And I remember reaching out to you and I was like, Carmen, I know I'm still over 300 pounds, but can I go lower my plans? Can I go? And I was going to go to Plan B and try that out. And then you came on and you addressed the group because I apparently wasn't the only one asking. And you said, yes, guys, you can go down. I did Plan A. As soon as I heard you say, I did Plan A the whole time, I was like, shoot, everything rose up inside me. And I was like, I didn't know that. I'm on Plan A now. Just like that. And I haven't regretted it at all. I haven't been hungry. Like there's times where I want food, but I haven't needed food. Like it's been really good since then. And the weight started coming off even quicker after that. So it's been really good. It's been I feel really good, especially with the workouts and stuff. I'm no longer struggling to put my socks on in the morning, which was with my back and the big gut, like leaning over and stuff. Oh, it's so hard. I remember talking to other overweight people, and we would commiserate about that, like trying to put your socks on. And I know they make devices and stuff to put your socks on, and I'd actually looked at them. It feels bad when I think
They
about it
make
now. But
devices?
yeah, like a device that holds your sock, and you put your foot in, and then you can like grab a thing to pull your sock up. I mean, it's mostly for older people that struggle to bend over and stuff like that. But I literally looked into it, and I was like, am I going to have to get something like this soon? Like, it was bad. I felt terrible. I'm telling you, it was miserable.
Wow. I've never heard of such a thing. That's crazy. Well, and I want to like, just so if you're watching and you're like, what's he talking about? Plan C, plan A, plan B. So when they get started, basically it's a calorie range on which they eat in. So plan A is like 1,200 to 1,400 calories. And then, so it's basically a calorie range. And everybody that I work with, like 1,200 is the floor. Like nobody should ever be eating underneath that. I know people try starvation diets, but that's just not maintainable or sustainable. So he had dropped his calories down, but he never went under that 1,200 calorie. I just want to make sure we're representing properly, because I know there's people out there, Shane and I included, that have been like, yeah, we can starve ourselves. Like we can drink juice or we can eat 500 calories and all those things. They don't work. Just in case you're wondering, we've been there, done it. Take it from us. They don't work. But okay, so I know you mentioned the diabetes. So before you started, life had gotten to a point where you were struggling with diabetes. Like, what was an average week like for you prior? Did you have the sleep machine that you were using?
Yep. I have sleep apnea. I use a CPAP every night. It was to the point where I was snoring so bad, Jen was sleeping on the couch or the other room. And that felt terrible. So I've learned to sleep with a CPAP. It's better. We can sleep together. It's not perfect, but I can at least sleep now. And that's really changed things for me because I don't fall asleep driving. I actually fell asleep on the phone with a customer at my last job at one point, and the manager was actually listening to the call, and she called me to her office. She's like, "What happened?" Like, because I've always been good at my job, What happened? What was that? So anyway, yeah, I've come a long way, but it's yeah, with the diabetes and stuff, I'm super thankful to say by the time the 12 weeks was over, the initial competition was over, the competition stage, I am off all diabetes medication. Got rid of the metformin, got rid of the glyphosate almost right away, in which my doctor told me to. And then I've consulted with my doctor, and she has gotten me off all medication. So I made sure that it was a good plan. I didn't just quit it because I felt good, just to throw that out there. But yeah, and I feel so much better not having to take that. It's been really good. And I've checked my blood sugars consistently, and I'm doing it less consistently now because I know what's going in my body, and I'm super comfortable with it. And they've been right between like 80 and 100 for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks now. So super excited about that.
Shane. So most of the time when people are diagnosed diabetic and they get put on several medications, like most people I've heard several people that were diabetic just accepted that I'm on the medication now. Like they fight the medication, but once they get on it, they just accept that they're always on it.
Yeah.
So this is like it's just the beginning of June. You didn't start until January.
Right.
And in less than 6 months, as a full-blown diabetic, taking 2 medications, I just want everybody to hear this, in less than 6 months, not starving himself, working out on average 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week, you were off all diabetes medications.
Yes.
Dude,
yeah. I mean, when I initially got diagnosed, I honestly felt like it was a death sentence. Working in the clinics, especially, we see the worst of the worst. We see people that have to keep coming in to manage their diabetes, and people scheduling, amputations and things like that. Like I always see the worst of the worst. So when I found out I had diabetes, it runs in my family. I wasn't surprised by it. I knew that it was eventually coming. I just didn't make the changes I needed to make. So, yeah, when it happened, I felt like it was a death sentence. And I remember it's actually your husband was one of the most encouraging people ever. Jackie reached out to me, and he kind of explained to me, he's like, dude, first of all, it's not a death sentence. He's like, it is something manageable. And he said, right now at 400 pounds, you're diabetic. who's to say if you don't put your nose to the grindstone? Is that the saying? I don't remember. And you lose weight, that you're not going to have those same symptoms at a lower weight, So I didn't really receive it well at the time, but it always stuck in the back of my head, and it was super encouraging. And lo and behold, she was right. So thank you, Jackie.
That's well, and I remember you messaging the group because they're all when they join the cast of The Biggest Transformation, they're put in. There's several, like it's very like we meet every week. Sometimes we have an impromptu meeting, and they're also in a group where they check in every day. Well, I remember you leaving the doctors and you came in the group the first time after they took your
A1C.
Yeah, that test. And what did it tell him what the doctor said when you got that when he saw the result?
So I talked to my doctor before I started. I had a consult specifically before I started so I could have numbers to track. And I told you I was excited. I was ready to go. So we did blood pressure and we did A1Cs. And my A1Cs were high, and she put me on glipizide and stuff like that. I forget what they were. I think they were, I want to say 12, something like that. Maybe 10. I don't know. I don't remember. I've got it written down, printed out, and it's in my chart. But when I went back in after the 12 weeks, I had specifically scheduled it right at the end of the 12 weeks so I could go in and get my numbers. And I was happy as a lark to go to the doctor that time. That was a different feeling. And I went in, and they said, like, what do you want to write for why you're coming in, which is something we always ask people, so the doctor has a heads up. And I put, are people going to look at me differently now that I'm sexy or something? So every nurse that talked to me, every front desk, every provider that saw me just giggled because they saw that note in the chart. But I went in and I got my A1Cs checked, and we were waiting for it in the room, and I was just chatting my provider up, and she had been watching the seasons. Like I've been sending her the episodes, so she knew kind of what was going on. And she saw the screen. She goes, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "Is that good or bad?" She goes, "Look," and she showed me, and it was 4.9. And I was like, "Is that good?" And she goes, "Yeah, that's the best A1C I've ever seen from any diabetic ever." And I was like, "That's encouraging. That's awesome." And I said, "So what's normal range for somebody without diabetes?" She goes, "You're there. It's like low fives normally." And I was like, "Oh, I've arrived," Yeah, that was just super exciting. Like, it was one of the most encouraging doctor visits I've ever been to. I was like, well, that's awesome. So then I said, my next thing out of my mouth was obviously, let's talk about medication. And she said, if you can maintain this, if you keep going with this, like, I have no problem with you reducing your medication and eventually getting off your medication. Because you are in a place now where you don't need it. She did encourage me not to just cut it cold turkey, especially with metformin. You want to wean it off a little bit, and that's what I did. I slowly went down and down until it was gone. I was very excited when I finally got there. Yeah, it was a great experience. I'll remember that forever.
So incredible. And from this side of the screen, watching you do it, it's been just to watch you. It's been like literally, it was like you flipped a switch. You went from owning the guy you were, accepting this sentence, this death sentence, accepting your fate, accepting that I'm just big and that's the way it's going to be, to fully owning this new journey. And so you've lost 107 pounds. What have you seen change in your life since dropping? Because, dude, that's more than both your kids weigh.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, you carry it around every day. So tell them what has changed in your life since, like, how do you feel? Like, do your clothes, like, do you have any that even fit you?
So, yes. So I've kept a lot of the clothes since I've gone up in weight. I haven't thrown stuff away. Good habit, bad habit, I'm not sure, but it was good in this aspect because I had Shane's victory bin that I've been able to tap into. And I'm still tapping into that. I got a new pair of pants out yesterday that I haven't worn since beginning of college, like freshman year of college, which is kind of amazing. That's 19 years ago, something like that. Anyway, they're corduroys.
Wow.
I haven't worn corduroys in 2 decades. So, yeah, it's been really good. I mean, I really believed that I could die at any moment. I remember there's a lot of nights where I would pray as I went to sleep, just in case I didn't wake up in the morning, if I was feeling really bad. I mean, it was that bad. Like that's how I felt. It was like I wrote a letter to my son for him to get when he graduates high school, and when I wrote it, I fully envisioned myself not being around, and that hurt. I literally was crying on my keyboard when I was typing that out because I didn't believe that I was going to be alive in 20 years. So not having that cloud hanging over me has changed a lot of, of, of just my life. I mean, I fully have the belief now that I can get to my goal, and I've never had that belief before. I always believed I could lose some weight. That was never a problem. I never believed I could keep it off. I believe that now. I never believed before I could get under 200 pounds. I'm not there yet, but I fully believe I am going to get there. It feels really good. Working out, it was always this big, you build it up in your head more than it actually is. Like totally. I always was like, man, I just don't want to work out. I can't do that. And you go from I don't want to I can't really easy. And then when you tell your brain that, that's what your brain believes, right? So working out now, I'm not really scared of anything when it comes to the workouts. Tony Hawk maybe a little. I'm getting there though. But yeah, I'm doing stuff now that I would have never been able to do, not even close. Today when I worked out, my sweat level, it's been continuously going down my shirt at the end of each workout as the weeks have gone by. It was below my belly button today. My whole shirt was soaked, and that felt so good. It's a little gross, I know, but it felt so good. I was like, man, I worked hard today. So yeah, I'm way more active. I'm picking up my kids again, which I wasn't picking them up as much because I was always worried about my back. I have a jump in my step. If I have to get up at work and walk around the clinic or something, I just get up and I do it. I don't just sit there and be like, oh, here we go, and like I don't make the dad noises. Somebody told me I make dad noises back when I was heavy, where every time you go to get up, you're like, ah! And I was always doing that. And maybe out of habit, I still do it once in a while, but I don't need to do it anymore. Like I just jump up and I go. So that feels really good. I'm wearing clothes. I actually went to a place called Savers, close to us. That's like it's a Goodwill or Salvation Army type place.
Yeah.
And I bought like $100 worth of dress clothes and stuff, so I could continue to wear clothes to work without them falling off me. I mean, I was to the point where if I didn't cinch my belt way too tight and it looked crumpled and weird, that my pants would literally just fall off. And I was like, it's too much. Mm-hmm. And people ask me at the clinic, like, "You gonna get some new clothes?" Like, they're just falling off me. And I'm actually, some of those clothes that I bought are starting to feel pretty big on me now. So we're gonna have to do another round soon. But yeah, I absolutely feel good. I'm waiting to take a plane ride now and gladly not get that seatbelt extension. That's gonna feel really good.
Ride roller coasters, skydiving, no, all those things.
Skydiving is on my list because I couldn't go last time. I was too heavy. That is on my list.
Now, watching you has had a ripple effect with some loved ones that you know and love.
Yeah. So my father has diabetes, and he's dealt with it as well. And my dad's got a lot of willpower. I've been amazed by him in the past, but it's hard to do things long term and hard to make it stick. He's made some serious changes in his life that's put him in a much better position. But he did something where he read this book and he ate on a certain level, but it was kind of like HCG. It was like down to this stupid number of calories that's way below what you're supposed to do. And you know what? It faked out his A1Cs, right? Like it gave him good readings and stuff, and he was able to do that and get off medication and things like that. But it wasn't really sustainable, and he's back to the point where he's been struggling. So him and I have been talking all the time. I love my dad, and we talk all the time. He's very encouraging to me, and he's rooting for me. He's one of my biggest fans. But now he's like, you need to tell me more. Send me some information because I'm going to do it. So him and my mom are both doing the portion control and the food list, the 21-day fix type stuff now. My sister is now doing it. And I've got a couple of coworkers that I'm mentoring, and they're on plan and doing it. One of them down 19 pounds, I think, already. So, like, it's exciting to see the different people in my life that are noticing the change in me and being like, okay, so you really think this is sustainable? Because everybody's scared of another fad diet. Nobody wants to
Yes.
waste their time with that mess. So they're seeing that I've not only lost the weight, but I'm excited to keep going. I'm not going like, man, I just need a milkshake. You know, it's not my mentality. It's not my attitude. So I think they're seeing it and they're just like, okay, tell me what's going on. So yeah, it's been really good in that aspect too.
Yeah. And season 2, his wife and one of your best friends, Matthew, they're both in season 2.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
Matthew, I think he said something like, he had no intention, but he saw you doing it. And
Right.
he was like, wait a minute. He's getting smaller than me. I better do something.
That's so awesome. So Matthew was with me at the time that you called me before everything started. He was there for that call. And after I got off the call with you, I was immediately like, okay, this is going to be it. He was like, okay. And we immediately started like looking stuff up online and like so he's always been like rooting for me and in my corner. But yeah, as he's seen it fall off and he's seen my mentality. So you talk about the 5 people in your life, right, that are most influential to you, and you're gonna be a lot like them just naturally. And him and I are that. I mean, we're really close and we meet weekly. So I was happy that he was encouraging about it because we had a lot of bad habits. We were fluffy friends too. Um, there's this certain game conference we went to in Austin, Minnesota every year, and we love it. It's a great place. After it, we would always stop at a place called the Pizza Ranch on the way home, and it's a full-out pizza buffet, and that was our ritual, right? Our tradition. So, like I said, fluffy friends, right?
Yep.
But now we're not. Matthew was actually over this weekend. We spent a couple of days this weekend together, and we are just spurring each other on. Iron sharpens iron, right? Like, and we actually realized that the hamburger that I bought to grill out was, it was 80/20. It wasn't the approved fat content for the plan that we're on. And I literally dropped everything and I drove right to the store and I went and got 96% so that we could have hamburgers. Because I was like, there is no freaking way I'm going to cause him to get off plan. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. So it's been really good in that. Like we've always been sparkling water buddies because neither one of us wanted to drink pop. But now we're like encouraging each other to drink the water. We're encouraging each other to stick to plan. We're running ideas by each other. It's changed our relationship a lot. And when we get together to meet for our game company and talk about games and what we're developing, it's really hard not to also fall into like nutrition and fall into like the groups and what we're talking about because it's just so much on our minds. It's actually been really good.
So awesome. And it's so cool to see that ripple effect that when you choose to change your life in one area, that it really does affect those around you. And like, you're not even at your goal yet. And look at just how you making these changes has affect those around you.
Right.
It's just the beginning, Shane. So
yeah, I know my wife has always been by far the biggest person in my corner, and without her, I don't know how I could have gotten as far as I have. Because when I started out, the nutrition, I had this mental block up where I was like, I can't do that, and it took a while for that to come down, right? So she like was helping me prepare my food, and she was taking the time to like make sure I understood what was happening. She wasn't just making it, right? So she helped me get started, and now that she's in season 2 and she's killing it, by the way,
yes.
it's been so good. We've actually been working out together now, and we've like maybe dabbled with that once or twice in the past, but now it's a consistent thing, and it feels so good. And I'm not going to say I don't, grab her butt once in a while or something like that, but it's been really healthy for our relationship.
Listen, I always say couples that sweat together stay together. It's
Right.
like, because if you don't, the truth is, and we've heard this saying before, but if you don't grow together, you grow apart. And when one person starts growing in another area and the other person doesn't, it provides like a space between you. And so I was it was an answer for my personal prayers when she joined season 2, because, as parts of our life and a part of our extended family. It was, I want to see you guys grow together.
Right. She's amazing.
I agree. I second that. So Shane, there's a lot of people watching that have been right where you're at. They have medical issues that have been induced by weight. They've given up, they've given in, they've owned this identity of just struggling with their weight. They don't know where to start. They're afraid to get started because they're afraid to have another failure. They're afraid to get their hopes up and get excited because they don't want to let themselves down again. What would you say to that person who's really deep down wants to change, but they don't believe they can do it?
I would say that action comes first and belief follows action. You have to take that first step or you'll never take any steps. I am so thankful, Carmen, that you called me that day, and you've been a catalyst in my life to get me started and get me going. If I wouldn't have said yes, I think about it all the time. Like, where would I be? I'd be right where I was. I'm confident of it because that's where I decided I was going to be. So, action kills fear, and it drives you. So if all you can do is march in place because that's the level of fitness you're at, then take that step. March in place for 30 minutes. And then the next time you do it, see if you can get your knees a little higher. All right. It's all a progress. It's all a journey. You can't jump into it expecting to be exactly like the person on your screen. Beachbody On Demand has tons of different levels that you can start at and tons of different workouts. Getting the products, I didn't fully believe in the products when I started. I believed in some of them, but I hadn't had any experience with the other ones. And I was like, is this a money grab? Like, what is this? No, I believe in them now. I've been using them. I feel the difference in my body. If I go without them, I feel the difference. Like, this stuff helps. It's there for a reason. That's what I'm saying. Surround yourself with people who have a like mind, who want to lose weight. It's such a big deal. People ask me all the time, what are you doing to lose weight? And the easy answers are nutrition, exercise, gallon of water a day. But the thing that I don't know why is the hardest thing to spit out of my mouth is probably the most important thing is surround yourself with people that want to lose weight. Surround yourself with people that are of a like mind. Because I've tried and I've failed all those stupid fad diets. I lost weight. I did. You can always lose weight on a fad diet. And then I got off it and I gained it back. I didn't have people in my corner to encourage me to keep going. I didn't have people of a like mind that were sharing their struggles that I could relate with, and I could be like, man, I'm struggling with that too. Thank you. I didn't have people to hold my butt to the fire when I had a bad day. And I'm like, guys, I got off plan today. And I could admit that to them, and then we could move on. And that way I'm not hiding it, and I'm not hiding from the world and going into the closet and eating a candy bar and stuffing the wrapper at the bottom of the trash. All this stuff is so incredibly vital. Having the people around you. Carmen talks about your 5 major influences. They don't have to be even in person. It can be somebody on a screen. Find somebody who asks what you want and do what they do, right? So, yeah, that is the biggest key is take the step. Do something. Get started. You're not going to regret getting started. All right. You will regret not.
So good. So good. And my last question, and I want to end on this. Where will Shane be 1 year from now?
Oh, 1 year from now, I'm going to have a 6-pack. I'm so excited about it. I have never had a 6-pack in my life since maybe, 6 years old. I don't know, however old little kids have 6-packs. So I'm very excited about that. So I've got a calendar out with if I lose 3 pounds, if I lose 5 pounds a week, like what I'm going to do. And 1 year from now, I'll have already been that goal for a while, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to be much more active, I'm sure of that, because I'll be light on my feet at that point. I don't even know what I'm going to be able to do. Like I saw somebody the other day. It was a bigger dude on YouTube, and his friends, he ran and they lifted him up so he could dunk a basketball. And it was one on his bucket list. He wanted to slam dunk a basketball. And I immediately thought, holy crap, am I going to be able to jump up and grab the rim? Because I've always been heavy enough that I could almost get the rim always, even in high school basketball. And I was like, wait a second, I'm going to be in good shape. I'm going to be used to jumping. Like if I strive for this, I'm going to be able to grab the rim. I don't even be able to grab the rim. Like, it's all these little things coming back that I haven't had the belief for in so long. So I'm really excited for this year to come. I am pushing hard with my workouts and my nutrition, and I'm getting there. The competitions will be over. I'm still confident I'm going to be in my same group. We're going to be Marco Poloing every day, and who knows what time, what will happen over time, whether we lose people or gain people in that same group. But I know I'm going to still have them. That's like a lifelong thing. And until everybody hits their goals, if we all decide to call it quits, which I don't see us calling it quits even at that point. we're going to be in it to win it. So yeah, a year from now, it's going to, I don't even know, Carmen, but I'm excited about it.
Maybe next beginning of next June, we'll have to do a 1 year checkup.
Let's do it.
Where is he now?
Yeah, I'm in it. I was hoping you were going to do that for the show anyway, for everybody. Those are always the best episodes, right? When you go back and see what it is now.
Yes. Where are they now? What have they done with what they learned? Exactly. Awesome. Thank you so much, Shane. Like, such an inspiration. Like, you truly blow me away. And I love how when you speak, your excitement and your passion and your enthusiasm for your life just comes through. And it's been such an honor and privilege to be able to watch you transform. And I know we haven't seen nothing yet. I know you're not done, not even close to it, but you've started so well. And I know you're an inspiration to so many. So thank you for being on. And thank you, viewer, for watching. And if you have not hit that subscribe button, make sure to do that. And we will be live tomorrow, Wednesday, with another, right down, subscribe, down, over there, subscribe.
Wherever it is.
No. Smash the like button, and then we'll be back live tomorrow, Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of The Biggest Transformation. So make sure to join us, and we'll see you there.
Bye, guys. Thanks.